And we're live. I think we need a theme tune, by the way. Good morning. Welcome to team meeting number 42. It isn't the meaning to life, the universe, and everything, but we hope that we're going to give you some entertainment and give you some good information. Today on our agenda we have Happy New Year's, of course. Happy New Year! We're going to discuss some new. Oh, there's going to be some New Year's review of the goals that we have. We're talking about the course building for Oplerno faculty, accreditation, some questions from faculty if you post them. Openings will be posted on AngelList, certificate, and like a whole list. New courses approved. Okay. Firstly, I'll get into that straight away. I won't get into it straight away. Rob will get into it straight away. What's with our Happy New Year's?
So thank you. Just a quick update. Thanks so much for participating in Woodblock in December. We got a lot of really good feedback. Talked with a lot of faculty members about what we're up to and announced some of the new initiatives and programs that we're doing. So basically the new year review of the goals, which is our next sort of agenda item, I want to really push one goal that we have, well, two actually. One is what we call getting to 100 and 1,000. And getting to 100 or 1,000 is what we talked about also at Woodblock, which was that we've created 100 classes, have 100 faculty, and that we have enrolled 1,000 students to take at least one class. And that getting to 100 and 1,000 is really our main goal for the year. If we do that, we will be well on our way in terms of some of the growth and goal projections that we have for Oplerno, and that's the biggest goal. So 100 classes completed, and we've got plenty of classes in the pipeline that have are somewhat close to being done or that we're reviewing. So I'm not really all that concerned about meeting that 100 course limit. The biggest and most the hardest issue to deal with is getting to that 1,000 students. So getting that first amount of traction, as it's called in the biz or the startup world. And we'll talk a little bit about how we're going to get there later on in the next couple of meetings. The number 2 goal that we have is the degree granting authority application for the state of Vermont. So we've done last year in April. We applied and had our final meeting to become an approved institution offering courses for credit, and that was a really big step for us, because it allows our courses to be transferred to another institution and allows us to kind of offer, undergraduate and graduate classes. And that was really big, but now what we're working towards is applying for degree granting authority for the state of Vermont, which is the second step to becoming nationally accredited and regionally accredited in the U.S. So we've got the accreditation application is almost completed, but what we have left to do is we've got to build more content, and we have to, myself and a few others, we've got to work on some policies in terms of what does a major look like, how many courses does it contain, to build up that particular piece. So that's the number 2 goal. So first goal is getting to 100 courses and 1,000 students or people who have taken a class, and the second piece is the accreditation for the state of Vermont. So those are our 2 main goals. Now, as we, if we hit those goals early, of course we'll adjust and we'll change. But that's really what we need to be thinking about over the next 6 months to a year. Anybody want to add anything more? I mean, add anything in terms of, those really are the 2 main goals. Do you guys want to add anything about just those 2 pieces?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly comment that in case anybody was confused, when we meant, of course, the community meeting, not at Woodblock. Woodblock was in August or September.
Sure. Sorry, the community meeting that we had in December. Oops. Thank you.
I guess I could reiterate on those goals is, it's we keep referring back to this sort of snowballing effect, and there's not going to be one golden ticket that gets us through any one breakthrough. I mean, accreditation is one sort of thing, but overall, we need the content building, we need the tech, we need the policies, we need it all. But what folks who are watching, if you're a faculty member, the best thing you can do for both yourself and Oplerno is to keep moving forward with your content. We've done a lot in the last 2 months. We had a really good blitz toward the end of the year, and over the the holidays and winter break and the traditional schedule to get a lot of classes sort of polished and start working on some new avenues that we're going to start traveling down. But again, the best thing to help us reach those goals, to attract students, to build momentum, is to get your courses either proposed and built if you haven't proposed one yet, or just polished up and built if you are already through the proposal process, which again is very simple. And if you need information on that, shoot me an email and I can give you the directions.
Now remember that 1,000 students isn't just, we're not just concentrating on sort of the traditional 18 to 23-year-old undergraduate population. We're also now started working with different businesses. And Michael, can you just talk a little bit about sort of what you think, how you think Oplerno can really impact the skills development and business development pieces at companies? Because we're also going to be working with trying to find some companies that also want to do professional development within their organizations, and those are also students.
That's a great question. Yeah, so I think there's definitely small to medium-sized businesses out there who are interested in continuing to provide skill set training as well as professional development for their employee base, and also large companies as well, because the kind of traditional education out there, professional development, isn't really providing for the needs that these companies have. And so the more, obviously, courses that we continue to build on Oplerno that are accessible to these employees who want to build skill sets, will incentivize and entice companies to sign up and provide affordable and accessible education for their employee base.
And the neat thing about those courses that the employees will be taking is we're still going to do the standard 12-week 3 contact hours, but an employee, an extra benefit for a company is that that employee can earn transfer credit, okay, to another institution where they're potentially getting a degree, but they can also earn a certificate from an approved institution by the state of Vermont. So a lot of times when you do professional development, those credits go sort of nowhere, or they're not recognized by another institution, and you can't kind of like build up a degree program. Well, we're switching that. When you do professional development, as long as it meets that 12-week, 3 contact hours, Carnegie Classic course piece, we're going to be able to really quickly do workforce development for, again, improving the skills of an employee base, but also getting people in terms of into a certificate and a potential degree program. And of course, there's also the electronic portfolio and all of that. So it's going to be exciting. Also, in terms of that piece, what's going to be interesting is I think that our faculty can very quickly develop high quality courses based on potentially skills that a certain employer might want. For example, let's say you had a need to teach people about a particular computer science, a computer programming language. Well, they could come to us and say, hey, can you develop for us a specialized course on X? And we're going to send, once we start to develop this this business system, we'll then send out kind of little announcements about, hey, we're looking for a course in X. Can you guys give us the syllabus? And then, we'll choose which one which one can be developed. So there's all kinds of different potentials with that workforce development piece, which is great. Probably should just, because if you're in the U.S., it's come up a lot. Just very quickly, is the announcement on Friday, or it was Thursday, about Obama's offering, kind of basically the notion is 2 years of free community college credit, and sort of what that does, to sort of, for-profits and startups like ourselves, or traditional, institutions of higher ed. It's a really, really interesting proposal, and a really, really good one. I've only seen where the support's going to be about $3,000, of which the federal government will pick up 75% of the cost. The states will pick up another 25%. I think it's a great idea. The issue that always happens is, with these programs, are kind of like the matching mandates. Our state's going to be able to afford to pay that 25% for all their students to offer this kind of, free 2 years. And that's a real question mark. I've heard anywhere from $64 billion a year on this program to, something higher. Lots of states are really stretched financially, so I'm concerned that what the government has done is it's sort of promised this new additional costly program, and they're not going to be able to deliver it. So we'll see. But I don't really think it's going to impact at all, or very much, what Oplerno is doing, because we also, the U.S. isn't the center of our universe either. There are also tons of places outside the U.S. Where students and where people want to learn, and also, again, there's probably going to be sections of this where you have to be enrolled as a full-time student at a community college, and a lot of people can't afford that. So this is a great idea that the Obama administration has put forward, but of course everything is in the details, and that it's going to be a while before that shakes out. Michael, I don't know whether you followed this, since you're of your interest in politics. Do you have anything you want to chime in about that, or Daniel, or Dan?
I have no comments on it as of now. Not right now. This is the first time I've heard about it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it yet either. They wouldn't be able to students wouldn't be able to use money toward Oplerno. It would only be community colleges.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's sort of a way to, 2 free years of community college. No, they're not going to. We're not. Part of the piece. Part of the positioning of Oplerno is that, we're not going to go after U.S. federal student loan money for a variety of different reasons, and because it will make us keep our costs, low. But there's also a bunch of federal regulation that is attached when you take those monies, and also a bunch of, it raises our operating costs substantially, and of course, when you raise your operating costs substantially, you have to pass that on to the students, and we don't want to do that. So yeah, it's an interesting proposal, but I wouldn't, for faculty out there who follow this, I would not be too worried. There's going to be a lot of time and a lot of changes in that proposal over the next 6 months. Okay. Questions? Let's go to, instead of questions from the faculty, unless they're coming through and interrupt me, let's talk a little bit about openings posted on AngelList. If you take a look at our angel.co, and you go to the Oplerno's profile, you will see 2 job postings. One is for a chief academic officer, and the other is, of course, for our community development person. We're adding jobs all the time, and those jobs are going to be listed on AngelList, so please check it out. Right now, we're looking for a really, we're always trying to figure out that community builder piece, our community, our director of community, and again, we want to find a really good person, a really good innovator. We're also looking for a chief academic officer who's going to help guide us through more of the national and regional accreditation pieces and basically work on the overall. Right now, Dan and I are spending a lot of time going over courses and classes. We're going to be having to formalize that a little bit more, and a chief academic officer is a position that we're going to need to have, as both myself and Dan have to work on other things related to Oplerno. So check out the job description and the payment, and if you're innovative educator with experience working outside North America, please take a look at it because we'd love to have you join our team. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's move now to one of the more exciting things. Dan Kirk is going to walk you through our certificate program and what we've done there over the last couple of weeks.
All right, 1 sec. I just need to get the screen share set up. So behind the scenes, which is now
your screen is, oh, there you go. Okay.
Which is now available to all internet users, is our certificates page. It's oplerno.com/certificates. We'll be putting it into the navigation bar here at the end of the meeting, and it outlines a few things. It's straightforward and simple. We modeled it a lot like what the other folks in this sphere are doing. Giving you just a taste of what certificate might, how you might value it, or what it might be able to do for you, the courses that are involved, and then as well as our credit transfer policy. So what's different about Oplerno's certificates? All certificates are at least 4 classes, and right now we have 7: self-design, philosophy, humanities, sustainability and science, teaching in the digital age and online education, technology studies, and art history. There's a bunch of classes in each of these that you can choose from to get your 4. And in addition to that choice, you also have the option within the transfer credit policy to transfer in credits from obviously another institute of higher learning that offers credit for their courses, as well as a MOOC-style online course like Coursera, edX, Udacity. But of course, these courses have to be verified by identity verified exam, which I think Udacity, we were looking at, they have a 3-step process. It's very simple for you to validate the fact that you were the one who mastered the information taught in the course. So we will allow these free credits and this knowledge and learning experience to be transferred into one of our certificates. So, in reality, you really only need to take 3 classes at Oplerno and 1 outside of Oplerno to get an Oplerno certificate. Some of these certificates right now have only 3 classes. Oh, this one has 4. Some of them have 3. What, art history? So you would absolutely need to bring in a 4th class from outside, and that's encouraged and okay. It brings costs down. It allows you to, have a variety of experiences and the delivery methods, and we're all for it. So if you want to do that, absolutely, please do. We also have the self-design certificate. Of course, there's no courses per se because you would design it yourself, but you can check out among our marketplace, put together a list of 3 to 5 classes, propose a 4th or 5th transfer class from, again, another college or university or MOOC, and create a certificate that you design and title yourself. Simply, I'll add a 5th course or even maybe more line. You just propose it to us quickly. You don't need to get into too much detail the first round. We just want to start the conversation. This will alert us that you've submitted something. We'll get back in touch and start the conversation, and we can develop that customized certificate for you and with you.
Yeah, let's. I just want to do a shout out to John Bolton, who really pushed us in terms of what he calls the bespoke certificate program. So giving students really a choice of developing certificates, and eventually it's going to be developing degree programs too that fit their particular needs. Now, with a design your own certificate, of course, you just can't have 5 random courses. They're going to have some sort of justification, and we'll be working with you on that. To make sure that that it has a good set of classes and good standards. The other piece is that transfer credit. I just want to reiterate the fact that not all MOOC courses will qualify for transfer credit. They have to at least have 12 weeks and 3 contact hours. So there have to be at least 36 what are called Carnegie units associated with that class for it to transfer. So if you take some of these Udacity courses or some of these other MOOCs are much shorter in length and there's not as much contact, well, those wouldn't count for a full 3 credit class piece, and those are only transfer credits and will be listed as such on your Oplerno transcript. In addition, we can't really verify when our portfolio system is done. We're not going to be able to verify skills that you bring in from an outside class that's not listed with Oplerno. And so, we're encouraging people to transfer credits in so that they earn a certificate, but you're not going to have the full functionality of Oplerno's portfolio or portfolio program, unless you take all the classes with us. Couple of things. Remember, go ahead.
And I was going to say, well, this came to actually one of the questions I had when Dan was explaining the certificates. Is say I have a certificate program such as the one populated by Michael Breer's courses, the art history one, including the art history. Say there's another one of his courses, because I know he has quite a number of courses on there, which is also related to art, say prehistoric art. Would I be able to include an Oplerno course into these credit course? So as the 4th course.
Remember that. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Faculty members can, as you complete your courses, if you want your course listed in a certificate, then let us know and we will list it. Sometimes we list them. Sometimes we list them automatically, but Dan and I spent a bunch of time going through and taking a look at different courses and different certificate programs that we could develop with the 30 classes that we have offered, and we clearly forgot some. It seems like every time we take a look and there's more courses, there could be potentially more certificates. So if you're a faculty member and you want to list a class in a particular certificate, or for example, you want to propose a certificate, you can do that. We just have to make sure that you have at least 3 courses that are that have been approved by Oplerno and are done and listed on the marketplace before we'll list a certificate. So for example, we have some, so we apologize if we're forgetting certificates that could be listed. So let us know if we've made a mistake. But we're doing the best we can to keep track of this, fairly complex system that we've created. Dan, you want to add anything more?
Nope, that's good.
Okay. One other thing with the certificate, with the transfer credit piece, is we also will take transfer AP, International Baccalaureate, and some of the European, some of the German secondary certificates. So here's the interesting thing: Oplerno will not does not have requirements that you have a high school diploma in order to take a class with us. Okay. We don't take age data. It's a question of, can you do the course? Do you have the skills? That is the only criterion for admission. So if you are in a secondary school located anywhere on the planet and you want to start earning college credit for your classes, you can start doing that, or earning a certificate in a specialized field. You can start doing that. So we also think that may be a really interesting population of underserved individuals. Those people, if we just take a look in the States, there are tons of schools that do not have access to college level classes in their high school. And now they do, because they can take those courses through Oplerno and start earning certificates. So rather than spend the spring of your senior year on what is affectionately known as the senior slide, why not take 3 classes and start earning some college credit or earn a certificate? So that's another interesting wrinkle on the certificate system. Okay.
I just wanted to say goodbye to Kelly. She had to. She was on the. She has to go. So she was sent in the chat. Bye bye, Kelly. Have fun.
New courses approved for offer. Dan, do you want to talk about those for just a second?
Yeah, we have. I can bring my screen back up. One moment here. We have Michael Briere's Art History 1 and 2 that were approved. I kind of forget since it's been a few weeks and we have the community meeting. We also had Movies and TV Pushing the Boundaries of Philosophy, which looks like a cool class by Professor Perez.
Yeah, that was Kelly Perez. That was the one who just left. So.
Oh, okay.
So we plugged her just after she left. She was.
And then we also have for Oplerno faculty interested in signing up to learn a little more about Canvas and how to build courses online with a good teaching pedagogy as well as course design, access to weekly meetings with both myself and Rob. That course is up in the catalog under course building for Oplerno faculty.
And starting the 19th of January.
Yes, we have corrected the start date, and it'll start January 19th. Price is $100, refundable at the end if you complete your course and have it posted to the marketplace. So essentially it's a down payment on you putting your time in and getting that kickback reward when you finish your course.
Yeah, and I have to say, it is of course filling up. So we've already had some people apply and pay the $100. So come quickly because it might be full.
Yeah, and it's not just weekly meetings. We're going to be treating this exactly like we want. We're going to be treating this course exactly like a full 12-week class. So the interaction is going to be a lot with myself and Dan Kirk. And again, you come in with an idea for a class. At the end of the 6 weeks, we want your class will be completed and you'll have done some initial marketing of that class out to different constituency potential student groups. And so it's a great way to sort of jumpstart your learning, jumpstart your course development and get your materials all set for a successful and interesting spring term. So yeah, we're filling up quickly, and I'm really excited to get back in the classroom and to be meeting much more with faculty, and that's going to be a lot of fun. All right.
Just a quick other bit of info. It's a 6-week course instead of 12, and if you are enrolled or planning to enroll and don't yet have a course, that is okay.
Yeah.
However, might as well send us a proposal, which would probably take you 10 to 15 minutes to draft up, and that way you can build your course kind of in real time through the quote assignments and tasks and etc. While you're taking our version of the course, you could be building your actual version. Obviously, when you're done, it's ready to go. You set your start date and start to market it. So you can do it either way, but if you have a course idea in mind, you might as well get a proposal in and get that going, because you won't have to do double the work.
Yeah, all the assignments are arranged in a way that as you're doing the assignments, you're also creating the structures and the foundations for your 12-week class. So it's basically kind of just a guided tutorial, co-working session with the faculty members that are taking the class, and with myself to say, hey, here are the basic things you need to take a look at when you're teaching online. Here's the forms. Here's how to look at lesson plans. Here's how to do the interaction in the classroom. Here's how to find out free resources that you can get online to teach the class. And then here's how you start uploading the materials to Canvas to create your class, and then here's how you start the social networking and marketing for your course. And that's 6 weeks. It can count as a professional development credit, but only not a 3-credit class, but only since it's 6 weeks, only a 1.5 credit course. So yeah, you can submit that in, and we'll work with you if you're a teacher at a public institution. We can work with you to get those forms filled out so you get recognized for that credit. Okay. Anybody want to add anything else before we say goodbye and then go to the closed meeting?
I don't have anything. I don't think we've gotten any questions either. So, goodbye from you.
Okay, well that will be it. Please make sure that if you have any questions, you shoot us an email, and then we'll talk about them at the next team meeting. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you online.